As recreational gaming has really taken off, so has the esports industry.
Esports.
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 What is esports? Esports is the future.
I had a very early introduction to video games with Nintendo, playing Drake's Uncharted Fortune.
Wasn't that much of a competitive person a couple years ago, but wanted to play with my friends, and it happened to be a tournament, and that's where everything really sparked.
I think my passion for esports started back in like 2016. So Overwatch had their World Championship on ESPN. So I watched that as a high school kid, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Gaming is a big part of like culture, lifestyles. We took an activity that was kind of being used as a pastime. We actually turned to like a formal structure that is, giving kids real opportunities to ultimately be introduced to other areas for professional careers that they can look into that they may not have known about before. Some of the misconceptions that, gaming is still not tied to anything academic or to anything structured or formal. So just kind of painting that narrative a lot of times for school systems, academic leaders. I think that is one of the bigger challenges.
Gamifying education keeps the student engaged. It keeps the student ready and wanting to learn. I had the opportunity to teach younger girls about seeing themselves in games. The project was playing Mario Kart, and they designed their own character. And they could see themselves actually in the game and race the character. Seeing how excited they got to play that game. This is something that could really change how kids stay focused, how kids want to come and show up at school.
Started community media essentially on one stat that said 83% of African American youth play video games on a daily basis. But then when you look at the video game workforce as a whole, there's only about 4% of African Americans that work within the space. That being the biggest disparity that we wanted to try and overcome, we essentially started the HBCU Esports League to give students that look like us, that come from the same background as us, equitable opportunities to be able to take part in this ever-growing industry.
Kids grow up playing video games in their friend groups. So it's a good, like anti-violence prevention tool. So when you have a healthy outlet for kids to be able to express that and express their passions and express their frustrations, whatever, through the game, then that definitely helps to alleviate a lot of the issues that happen around communities when kids don't have any outlets. Esports as a industry has been around already, but obviously, like a lot of other things, we've been systemically late to the game.
The state of Georgia became one of the first states to actually launch varsity high school esports. There were very little black schools that were participating in the esports that was happening at the state level. And what we found out is that early on, a lot of the games that were being played at the state level were computer games. So it alienated majority of the high schools that couldn't afford a computer lab to then participate within the gaming industry.
I thought gaming was just game development. No, there's animation, there's production, there's sound, there's all types of stuff that goes into it. So whatever you think you want to do is probably there for you to do.
I feel like if I had that when I was growing up, I would have had so much different inspirations and things that I was like, oh, I can do this, I can make it doing this. I don't have to just play sports or do the typical thing that you normally would do. You know what I'm saying? Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but there's so many avenues that for us, besides just what they laid out for us.
I think just down the road, as gaming continues to grow, new games are being made, new events are starting, that we see more people that look like us at them. I just remember early on in 2017, 18, you would go to a lot of big events like DreamHack or E3. They're very few and far between would you see people that looked like us.
If you put black people in a space to talk about black people's stories, it will help the games become more playable, more real. The Killmonger haircut. Every black boy does not have that same haircut, guarantee you. So you put black people in those spaces to create those games and to further correct these stereotypes. Because if I play another person that has a Killmonger haircut or an afro as a black person in the game, it's raps.
If you are not, a competitive player, you don't want to be a competitive player, understand that even in your esports club, there's still a million and one other opportunities for you to work around that. You don't always have to play the game to be a part of the game. Having those career options open will help students to really specialize and to help students really understand the type of skills that they want to develop and the type of profession that they really want to get into.
Played basketball my whole life. You don't go pro, but it pushed me to get a degree in sports management, which led to this. So I think it's the same general idea. It's like you can utilize this passion to take you as far in life, honestly, as like you're willing to go.
I feel that Black people play a lot of video games, but we just don't have a safe space to come to play video games. And so us at Spelman and the Morehouse guys created a incubator for all people who have the same interests to come and feel safe to talk about it, geek out, nerd over it.
We think we live in this bubble because we're people of color and we're into all these different things. We're into anime, we're into cosplay, we're into gaming. And you would think you live in a bubble by yourself in that space until you get around people just like you who are just as passionate about it. Being at DreamCon, I believe me and you had a conversation, I think after last year. It was the first time we felt you saw yourself.
Everybody plays video games, especially on HBCU campuses. So it just makes sense to have a community and something centered around that.
You're at school for more than just school, and esports can be that additional thing that just helps propel you as a person.
If you think about it, a lot of people play video games, even if it's on your mobile phone, if it's on a computer, digital handheld, console, whatever, a lot of people play it. So if we all come together, it's definitely something that can grow into something humongous.